Girls, I don't know what you are going to do or Coach Andrew is going to do, but you know what? This is what I want to say to you before we even start, is that, like, you need to have thick skin in life, and you love yourself unconditionally, and whatever is said, you just take it, and you laugh, and you smile, and you just still keep loving yourself unconditionally.
All right, let's do this. So, first, quick shout out to the hosts. Huge thanks to the Cornells, not just this time, but all of the times. Let's give a big round of applause. Kelly,
You hit the jackpot.
Kelly, the hostess with the hostess. Sean on the food, the music, the AV system. Emmy, we all know Emmy actually throws these parties, right?
Hey, I saw Emmy sweeping up when we got here. She was doing the work.
Quick shout out to the brothers here. Calvin, thanks for being part of this. Luke and Crew, I think under the tutelage of Calvin and Luke, Crew has become the Lord of the Flies leader. He is the leader of the boy group. If something catches fire later, just know it was team building. Okay. So a couple things to agree with Coach Pam is I had the good fortune of being on a team when I was young, and not everybody is lucky enough, because most of the kids that were older and younger than me didn't have the experience that you girls have had. It is not a really normal thing, and I think that that's why we're here and want to celebrate these last 3 years or 2 years or 1 year, but the experience that you all have had, you should know is not what everybody gets to have when they get to play soccer. And so I want to make sure that you know how special the experience, girls, that you had a coach that cares about you. And yes, did she yell? And yes, was she sometimes a little bit upset? But you know what that means is it means that she cared. And having somebody that cared about you this much is very special. She cares so much that she usually loses her voice. So I've said a few nice things, Coach, but
you know what? Give it to me.
Let's get real. Let's get real. When you really love somebody and care about them, you talk a little bit of shit about them, and that's what we're gonna do.
Let it go.
All right. I'm gonna talk some trash to Coach here because she loves it. She can take it.
I welcome.
But then the girls are going to come up here, and then we're going to talk more about the girls. But, Coach, if we're being honest, here we go. Here's the roast part. So some people say you yell too much, but the upside is you always know what field you're on when you play for Coach Pam. You can hear her from the parking lot. You can hear her from the highway. Coach, your superpower is yelling something positive so loudly it sounds like an insult. Esther! Great hustle! Coach, even when you're just trying to get the ref's attention to sub-players, it sounds like you're threatening the ref's entire bloodline. Ref sub! Coach, I need some eye contact here, though. This is the real part. Pam, you are physically incapable of keeping your shit together around referees. You really try, and then, your soul leaves your body and you just start screaming. There was this game, I think we'll all remember this, where this ref basically decided there were no fouls. And Pam was like, cool, we're done, we're out of here. We're done. Coach, that's not coaching, that's a labor strike. Some coaches adjust tactics. Coach Pam, you just adjusted the existence of the game.
Shut it down.
And the quote of the season for me from the post-game talk to the girls was, Girls, that ref was an idiot. We won that game. Count this as a win.
Listen, let's be real, girls. I've got some issues, all right? They're all going to come out tonight, but that's okay, because you know what? I've been in therapy for years.
Hey. Listen, hey, I'm giving Coach a hard time here, but I got to brag about her a little bit, right? You remember this for a minute. Coach Pam played for 4 years at University of North Carolina. Coach Pam won 4 national championships. Coach Pam never lost a game and played with me and him while she was in college. So here's the interesting thing about Coach Pam, though. A lot of those girls were recruited, and they were very fancy girls. But Coach Pam wasn't. She was tough. She walked on, and she's so tough. It shows you that, well, she's capable of doing things that are both tough and stupid at the same time. Do you girls remember this? Do you remember when Coach Pam was before her knee surgery and she couldn't walk around very well, but then scheduled a practice that was down 90 steps of stairs at a beach? That's the kind of stupidity that you girls are the beneficiaries of. All right, so Coach Pam, we got to talk about kind of one last thing here before we move it on to the girls. But honestly, girls, am I right? The warm-up music, Coach, hey, earmuffs, girls, can you all earmuff it real quick? Just earmuff it real quick. Are you really earmuffing it?
No.
Coach. I'm drunk here.
That was insane. It was insane.
Pam, what the fuck? We're trying to raise young women here, and with the warm-up music. The warm-up music, it's like they're about to start a residency at a strip club. I mean,
Just for the record, I allow each girl to pick 2 songs for the warm-up tape.
Coach,
I pick the songs they do. So maybe we need to check out the parenting in this home and what's being played in the cars while you're driving your daughter to practice in school because they choose the song. Is that not correct?
Think about that, parents. Think about that. That's actually on you. You're right, Coach, but because half the time, half the parents are are we doing toe touches or are we doing bottle service here?
I mean, the survey says that's exactly right.
All right. But listen, finally about you, Coach. We love you. We know you love to party, Coach, and that's why we're all here, and that's why we've been all very fortunate to share a lot of this together. But honestly, Coach, never have a difficulty convincing Pam to show up at a party. Disco ball? Yeah. Casbah? Yeah. Belly up with the moms? Yeah. She's doing it. Pam doesn't RSVP. She materializes the moment somebody says, there might be drinks. I'm not saying Pam loves a free drink. I'm just saying if there's a wristband, she already has one. And if there isn't, she's improvised one out of athletic tape. Coach, I think it's ready to talk about the girls. Let's talk about what we're going to do. Here's what's really going on. We are going to play a game called the Panties. These are the panties right here.
All right.
These are the panties. You have to, each one of these little panties, I'm going to give you some hints. You have to guess which one of the little panties this is, and then they're going to come up and share one of your favorite quotes.
Okay.
We got it?
Yeah.
We're good? Yeah. Girls, are ready?
I mean, the survey says,
All right. Let's take another drink, Coach. Cheers. Coach, I'm cheersing you over here. Hey.
Under pressure.
All right, here we go. First player. Again, I'm going to give you 3 clues. At the end, you have to guess the player. Here we go. This player will run straight through defenders when she smells a scoring chance. Don't guess yet. Number 2, she works insanely hard the moment there's a chance to score and almost always scores at least 1 or 2. And the third is that if you believe her dad, she could work 10 times harder, so she could score between 10 and 20 goals per game, every single game. Coach, do you have a guess?
I'm gonna guess Soria.
Yeah, come on. All right, so Coach, the way this is going to work is that the player is going to come up. You're going to use the mic, and you're going to just put it in your hands, I think. Yeah, however you want. Yeah. So the player the players now, so this is a Pamism. So for the Pammies, the players have to give their best impersonation of Coach Pam. Roy, are you ready?
Yes, I don't know what this one's about the ball. Drop it at their heads!
I need to hear that. Drive it at their heads! Roya, you're back up here. You're back up here. So now we're talking. So that was no. So Coach, you're going to keep the microphone there in your hands. Roy, you're going to sit down there at the other seat, and other girls are going to do this too. So we're going to talk about a player when you come up here, Coach. It is true, right? Roy is a true number 9. We know she works really hard to score goals, and then on defense, she's just like, whatever. No. I'm kidding. Talk to me about Roya, though. What did we see about Roya this year?
Well, I want to share a story that there was a picture that I love from when the team started 3 years ago. We had our very first scrimmage at Oceanside, and I don't think Roya was able to make a lot of practices at that point because of softball. And we were at the complex today that we were at, and at that time, and I was screaming to Roya to stay high, and she was at midfield, and she started sobbing, and she goes, "What do you mean about staying high?" And I was like, and I don't mean that mean, I just mean that like you think. So what I want to say about Roya is Roya has an endless number of gifts, and I think she is an incredible softball player as well, and I think her mindset is always to score goals, and I think about how many goals in critical moments that you scored for us this season, especially remember the second tournament, and that you, right? I don't think you know how good you can be in that position, and just having a mindset and like tweaking little things that are going to make a huge difference for this team and for you, and as you keep going in soccer, that you can do. So I just think that like I said, one of my things to the girls is pretend they're looking down at their watch when they shoot, and if you watch her before she shoots, if it's a free kick or whatever it is, she looks down at her wrist, and so again, the coaching is filtering through. So.
All right, let's give it up for Roya. Okay, the next is the Pammies. Here's Coach. Are you ready? That was beautiful, by the way.
I'm ready.
All right, here we go. Number 1, this player knocks down. Oh, I'm sorry, I almost skipped somebody here. This player's motor does not quit up and down the field all game. When it gets physical, she leans in. And early seasons included a very passionate sideline encouragement in another language from a dad who earned Vinny's Most Improved for learning that volume wasn't leadership last year. You got a guess, Coach?
Isabella.
Isabella, come down. All right, Isabella, can you give us your best Coach Pam? Battle with her! All right, Izzy, have a seat. So, Coach Pam, my question about Izzy is, how have you seen her grow?
Okay, so Isabella, I think where I've seen her grow the most is the fact that her versatility. I've used her a little bit at defense, we use a little bit outside mid, center mid, and I think there's a gift to being able to be versatile at certain positions. But more than that, I think she's improved tremendously in her shot, and I think her getting in a position to take shots is only going to be a gift for her and a gift for the team, our team, any team that she plays on. And I think she's never going to back down from a physical battle, and she is sometimes maybe better than she realizes that she could be.
Ooh, I love that. Let's give it up for Izzy. All right, here we go, Coach. Next of the Pammies. Number 1, this player knocks down more opponents than anyone. But number 2, and is also the first to help them up, whether they're on her team or the other. And 3, fiercely protective of her teammates and also known to beat up the local school bully Dax in jiu-jitsu.
That would be Ryan.
Ryan, come on down. All right, Ryan, take the mic from Coach Pam. We need to hear. Ryan, you got to take the mic from Coach Pam, and you got to give us. So this is specific for you. Let's hear it, Ryan, as loud as you can. Push her back. If you didn't hear it, push her back. All right, Coach, tell us, how protective is Ryan?
You know what? Here's what I want to say about it. I think Ryan is one of our most physical players, but I also think she's the most loving player and compassionate about every teammate or the opponent. And I think that the biggest area that I've seen her improvement is her strength in her foot. And even though we're not totally, I saw you hit the ball with the right foot today.
I did too.
Yeah, okay. But she's a lefty, I was a lefty, and I think that she has improved leaps and bounds. Like I go back to when her dad is on the sideline way early days when she's a goalkeeper, and he's kind of there like coaching her, protecting her, like encouraging her. And so both on the field in the defensive position, she wanted to get up in the midfield position, get involved in the attack and use her shot that she's improved on. And then I think goalkeeping too, like, let's be real, right? I don't know who ended up winning that tournament today, but that Force team beat two teams 7-0, 6-0, and the saves that Ryan made at the end of that game kept us in a 2-2 tie. So let's give us a round of applause. Woo! Bada bing, bada bang. Boom.
Well done. All right, Coach. Excellent. Here we go. On to the next one. Here are the clues. I love all of these girls absolutely equally. There's one that I might have a little bit of a preference for. This season, she really found her own as a ball striker. Big goals from open play and restarts. And she started to see the field better, develop a point of view, and insist on being involved when she knows what she wants to do.
Elliot.
Come on up, kiddo. All right, grab the microphone. Give us. Now this is a little longer one, so let's be patient here when Elliot conjures her inner Pam.
I remember a lot of times you I remember a lot of stuff you said to the ref, but this one, that ref was an idiot. We should have won that game, girls. Count it as a win.
So, Coach, tell us about Elliot this year.
I think my favorite comment to the ref, just sidebar thing, and I mean, I you know, actually, you guys have improved over the 3 years, let's be honest. Small increments was when I said to the ref, Christmas came early, and the ref heard me. Anyway, okay, I know, it wasn't appropriate, and I'm sorry. Elliot, listen, you know what? I think what it is that you are a soccer player that knows the game, and they're just moments like, you know, I was telling some of the moms today after your PK, right? And it's not that all of you can't take PKs. I just think that Elliot brings a different level of confidence to it, just like free kicks. And I think if you look back on this season especially, there were so many moments when your goal, your service, your corner, your free kick, your PK was a difference maker in the games. And I love that about you. And I love that you have the confidence to step up to the ball and take the kick. So.
All right, Coach, here's 3 more hints for your next Pammy. The biggest improvement this season in terms of attention and focus, which is impressive because she's younger. Also, a player that throws more parties than any other player on the team. And if you haven't figured it out, we're in her house, so.
Emerson!
All right, Emerson, give us your best Coach Pam. Unlucky!
You know what? I think that, you know, it's funny, like when I was working on my speech, I remember going back 3 years ago, and I brought both Lola and Emerson back for a secondary tryout. And I think one was injured, one wasn't feeling well, and you know, I remember writing their evaluation after her first year as being one of the most improved players. And I think, you know, she fell in love with the goalkeeping position. And I think, girls, let's be honest, let's give her a round of applause. Somebody say unbelievable. You know, my favorite moment, okay, going back to my comment, about Christmas came early was when the ref called the PK. We were at Cardiff Elementary, and what's that? I know. So she shot it, and the ref was coming over to yell at me, and I was like, "I'm sorry." Like I was like, "Shit, I can't believe you heard that," but okay, he heard it. And so went another kick, and I said, Emerson, she's going to go to the same side, and she did. But more importantly, like, what a save she made. And I think, you know what, you guys, like, I don't think you realize, and I know Ryan can attest to it, Brooklyn now can attest to it, but how hard it is in the goalkeeping position to make those saves. And, like, what I've seen in her in the last, like, I would say, shift in her in the last couple weeks was, like, a smile, like, drop the mic, I just saved that ball, here you go. And two, no, for real, and two, I think, you know what, like, the attacking position at the forward, like, what do you give? You give a physicality, and you don't back down to anybody. So, awesome, awesome, awesome. Thank you.
All right, Coach, we don't have a lot of soccer fans out in the audience here, but I'm gonna geek out with you for a second. German sweeper, Beckenbauer,
Yes.
changed the game. We had a similar experience this year. We had a sweeper come in and change our world. An absolute cruise missile. Doesn't care how old the older girls are or how big they are. I'm going to take a little brief side tour before we get to your guests here, because we actually have somebody maybe as quotable as you. This particular girl's mom has been known to yell things like, "Channel that hate in your heart." Or has renamed our good friend Esther into, say it with me, Coach, you got any idea what kid I'm talking about here?
Eva!
All right, Ava, give us your best Coach Pam.
Alright. Tough as nails!
Tough as nails! All right, Coach, take that microphone back and tell us about this magical sweeper who's tough as nails.
You know what? It's funny, like, she was on my other team last year, and I remember I was doing a private training with her early on, and she showed up to the training, and Mike was there, and obviously none of you will be here tonight, and I said, man, I'm like, does she do any sort of, like, strength training, whatever, like, she's got guns, and he goes, she loves doing pull-ups, right? And I was like, wow, I'm like, that's a great gift to have, and I think what I want to say about Ava is that she's got a tenacious fearlessness defensively that she's never, ever going to back down from an opponent, whether it's in practice or in the games. And, I go back to her first kind of introduction to this team back in the Encinitas Cup. And, I gave her the trophy for the MVP of that weekend, and, to start with the trophy. And I think that, she's just, as he said, she's just tough to get around, and she is never fearless of anyone that she plays against, whether it's in practice or training. So I think that gift is one of your greatest gifts, and, you play hard, and yet you have this beautiful heart and spirit about you with the girls. And, your mom is so New York, and we love that about her. On top of all her dessert baking extraordinaire that we all benefit from. So, Ava, thank you. Thank you.
Let's give it up for Ava. All right, can you believe that there are this many Pammies here? We got more, Coach. Are you ready? Here we go.
Ready.
All right, this one, clue one. Biggest smile in the field at all times. Number 2, you mostly see ears in a headband. Sometimes the headband is basically over her eyes. But number 3, she wins the ball with a belly first commitment technique that is seldom seen, but gets knocked down and pops up instantly while still smiling.
Ruby! share this story, and I hope he doesn't mind, but when I wrote Ruby's evaluation last year, she was on my other team, and her dad, who was a college baseball player, said, I'm gonna use this for a college application. And what I say about it is like, you know, Ruby's Ruby in any sport, any uniform, anything she does, she has a relentless mindset to everything she does. And I would say that she's an athlete that's unflappable in any sport. And so, you know, yes, when she gets knocked down, she jumps back up or bounces back up, and, you know, but at the same time, another thing that I love is Ruby's played every position on the field. And she does it without a, oh, coach, I don't want to play there, don't put me there. She's just like, okay, yeah, goalie, you got it. Defense, you got it. Midfield, you got it. Forward, you got it. Outfield, outside mid, you got it. So I think that part of who she is, and I've coached a lot of athletes in my lifetime, and you know, I would put her in the top tier as far as like overall athletes and competitors, and she never backs down. So.
And wait, before we cheers applaud, Coach, do you know what the word is when you can use both of your feet equally as well?
Ambidextrous.
So that was, thank you for the audience out there. Derek, you want to say it again? Ambibipedal is the for your feet, using them as well. Coach, have you ever seen a player use? No, Derek was cherry picking. He heard my punchline already. But have you ever seen? Talk to us about the ability to play with both feet, like we see from this girl.
Well, I think that with her, as we've got these two bouncing pineapples in front of us, I think that, you know, it's again, like for these girls, I give them a lot of information. If you go back to my first day of idea, information, right, demonstration, effective application, right? And I think for Ruby, she's disciplined herself, and like she takes on everything to be able to do everything. I think, if I believe correctly, she can bat left-handed. Is that correct? Yep. So she can bat both right and left-handed. She can kick both right and left-footed. And I think that it's for her, like she applies the coaching to the left and the right, and it's not ever a thing that she gets fazed by anything else, whether it's the parents, the ref, me, anything else. She just goes out and does her job.
Solid, let's give it up for Ruby. Ambibipedal. All right, here we go. Another Pammy. Number one, quiet intensity. Coach, when this girl locks in, the whole field feels it. Number two, she'll do whatever the team needs, defend, attack, even hop in goal for a quarter. Number three, when she decides to strike, it's a problem for the other team. And if you can't figure out who it is, her brother, it probably started a fire outside. So.
Brooklyn!
All right, Brookie B, give us your best Coach Pam.
Girls!
That's a laugh. I've heard you talking a lot. Brooklyn, you know what? This is what I want to say too is I know Brooklyn's done the work as far as her technical ability, and I think like I go back to that. I can't think it was NCAA's Cup, but it was one of the tournaments at Oceanside, and you stepped up and buried a PK, and you know, I think it's one of those things where you've done the work to improve yourself technically, and then in the last month or so, I reached out to Cinderella the other day and I said, hey, she's expressing an interest in playing goal. And I said, what are your thoughts? And she said, she's all in. And I said, okay. And today, I apologized to her after the game. I got caught up in the moment in the game. I was going to put Ryan in for the last 10 minutes and I didn't. But I think it just speaks volumes to her recognizing what her strengths are and being able to unwrap her gifts, especially in your ability to strike a ball, which is amazing. And I think you've demonstrated it, and I watch you when you show up to the field at practice before everyone else does, and you just grab a ball and you just start striking the ball. And I agree with Andrew in this, that you have a quiet presence about you. You know what I mean? You're not the loudest person on the team. and that's okay, but you just try and be the loudest person in your physical and your impact on the team. So, awesome. Thank you. Woo, Brooklyn.
All right, Coach, this Pammy has a tiny frame, but huge power. She hits the ball like it defended her. She walks into any room also like she owns it. She's the funniest one. She could probably do an impression of you and roast all of us. Do you have any ideas here, Coach?
Say it again. Say.
The one I want to
I
point
want
you
to say
to.
yes or Lola, but am I right on one of the two?
We do actually have. We have. 3 tiny girls. We left the tiny girls for the end. This has made it very confusing. I'm going to give you another hint off the record here. She has like a couple of siblings older and younger that you might mistake for her.
Okay, Presley.
All right, let's hear your press. Are you ready for your best, Coach Pam?
Referee, that's a handball!
Okay, so press, right? I call you press. You know, again, I think for Presley, like, you are a smart player. You always are trying to do the right thing. You know, I would say this, like, I think she's going to be a coach one day or have the ability to be a coach one day because she's always helping me going, girls, Coach Pam's talking. Can we listen? Survey says some of us can, some of us are still struggling with that. But I think there was just a lot of moments throughout the year and the 3 years that whether it was a corner, whether it was a cross, whether it was a goal, whatever it was, and you know, and I think too for you, we expanded your ability to play other positions, right? I think you wanted to be a forward, you wanted to be a center mid, and I had to play you some on outside mid, and we had a lot of people that wanted to be forwards, and you always found a way to do the right thing, and I think that for you, you have a beautiful spirit energy to these girls as far as at the end of every session, at the end of every game, whether you're competing against the girls, you walk up to every player if they were on the other team in the inter squad scrimmage, and you're like, hey, great job, and you're high-fiving them. And I think that's a gift for you that I think you're gonna be a great captain and a great leader because of who you are in that, the fact that you're competing, but you're also valuing the relationship with the kids around you. So I think that's a great gift for you.
Yeah, Brett. Woo! All right, Coach, this Pammy is a reliable player that can be put in any position with a smile. Very reliable, and is, if you need a further hint, is the tall one that's left.
Bailey.
All right, Bailey, are you ready for your best, Coach Pam?
Girls, I couldn't be more proud of you.
I love that.
Bailey. I mean, that crossbar got in your way today. Okay, let's just say that. I think, you know what, this is what I want to say about Bailey is Bailey is better than she even knows that she can be. And, you know, I've challenged her. I think Bailey is one of the smarter players on the team, and it doesn't mean that you girls aren't smart, but she has an incredible understanding of the game. She always knows to score. She's always like, Coach Pam, you said to do this. Coach Pam, it's 5-4, not 5-3. I'm like, okay, I got you, you're right. But more than that, like, I challenged Bailey whether it was playing center mid, whether it was playing in the back, and, you know, she just wants to be out on the field. And I think today, you know, one of the things we've worked on is her keeping her head down and striking through the ball. And if you see today, it was like, you know, hit the crossbar twice, scored a great goal, and we've got new company. Brad, what's going on? Welcome to the party.
There he is. Give him a round of applause, everyone.
Brad the Barbara is going your way. And so I just want to say for me that, you know, I didn't end up having captains this year and like in the game, and they said, can we get a captain? And Elliot stepped in, but like, I think she has incredible leadership qualities, and I think it's a matter of her committing fully to, I'm this good, and like, I kind of jokingly say, find your nasty, and drop the mic and just say, hey, you know what? I'm capable of this. And so, again, I encourage you to keep pushing yourself further and like recognizing what you're capable of doing. And I think you demonstrated that today with, your shot, your goal, and then hitting the crossbar twice and what you're capable of, and corners and stuff. And it's like, find your voice and be the man. Be the man. All right.
Hey, woo! Coach, I was actually humbled by that intelligence that you're talking about earlier, soccer intelligence, where the girls are like, can we make it to the final? I was like, there's no way. And Bailey was like, well, if the other team loses 4-0 and we beat the other team 4-0, we would get by on 1 point. So trust Bailey is the takeaway from that. All right, this player, Coach. Early season, the most timid, tiny, getting battered by girls twice her size. Then something flipped. I had a direct experience. You might remember this. I had to referee a game, or at least a half. And this once timid player I almost had to consider giving her a caution. Her tiny little elbows and her speed and aggressiveness was the biggest turnaround I think that we've seen. Do you have an idea who this is?
Esther!
Oh, a pre-hug. This is how you get to be a starter. Use your speed, Esther. Use your speed. Yes, Esther has been known to break windows before. So.
Esther, so I think I shared this with Nick, but when I was coaching college, I went to a seminar, and my old college coach, who just recently retired last year, but he was out there and he said...
Anson Dorrance, great college coach of all time.
Great college coach, and he said, I was in a seminar with him, and he said, what are the three qualities you look for in a player? And he said, speed, speed, and speed, because you can't teach it. And, I think what I love the most about Esther, among all the things, is that she's just all in. She's all in physically, she's all in her speed, she's all in all these things, and then she's all in emotionally. And I shed my tears today. I'm a crier, and I think that she takes herself to a place emotionally that it just like, sometimes it's just like she needs to just let it out. And more than anything with Esther is that one of the things that I've been working on with her for 3 years is her shot. And, it was like I would see her and, I would talk to Nick and talk to Tina, and I'm like, look, we just need to get this piece of her, and her game's going to go to all sorts of levels. And, I think you saw Esther in her element today on the field. It was like, and, she was emotional when the game ended, and, I was just like, you got this. And I look at her, and I think most of you guys know my story from her from early days, and it was like 2 weeks into the season, and I was talking about possession. Okay, and I was like, possession, we're playing possession, and Esther had her glasses on, and we had a water break, and she raised her hand, and she was like, Coach Pam, and she tilted her head, and she said, what does possession even mean? And I was like, I have failed as a coach, and I was like, and I looked at all the rest of the girls, and I said, does anyone else know what possession means? And they're like, not really, and I'm like, okay. So, anyway, you know what? Here's what I want to say about Esther. Like, Esther is going to be the president one day. Esther is going to do great things because Esther has a energy and a love for everything that she does, and she's all in. Like, she's all in, and I know she was so disappointed with the tie, not that all the girls weren't, but at the same time, it's like emotionally she's all in, and I just think the sky's the limit for her based on her speed. And, I was telling some parents out earlier today, we were at the Cardiff Teen Camp at Cardiff Sports Park with some older girls, and Craig was doing this warm-up where they had to run around Cardiff Sports Park on the outside, and then he would blow a whistle and you'd walk, and then you'd jog, and then you'd sprint. And, there was Esther when he did the sprint, and she was sprinted by like 3/4 of the whole camp. And, that's who she is. She's a workhorse, and I love workers, and I tell the girls just like, I have 4 things I tell the girls before every game. I said, we're going to build with the ball, we're going to hunt the ball down, we lose it, we're going to work, and we're going to have fun. And I think she finds a tremendous amount of joy in everything she does, and I feel really grateful to be your coach.
Ooh, a double head. That's how she's always started. All right, Coach. This soccer player is like the soccer Gretzky. He was famous for the quote, "Go not where the puck is, but where the puck's going to be." This player has apparently some kind of internal GPS that's always aware of where everybody is on the field and where the ball both is and is going to be. And even though she might be the smallest and possibly the youngest, nobody's ever worried when a really, really big girl comes into a tackle. We kind of feel sorry for the really big girl because she's going to end up being the one that's the big girl on the ground. Any idea who we're talking about here?
Lola.
All right, Miss Lola, you got your best, Coach Pam.
Back to work we go.
Back to work we go.
Lola. You know what? I think Lola's always been someone that's played big, in literally, figuratively. I'll go back to our last regular season game against Rancho Santa Fe, and Mike, that you guys met today, came up to me and he spoke to me about Lola. And I said, you know what? I go, she's a tweener. I'm not sure where she's going to play out, where it's going to play out for her with tryouts. But again, I go back in the very year 1 of the 3 years, and I brought both Emerson and Lola back for a secondary tryout. And what they both did that first year and what she continues to do. And I think, she defines the fact that size doesn't matter, and it's a matter of like her relentlessness. I think, Vinny dubbed her the Gurma of the Cardiff Soccers, and I think that, it's, and I think where I really want to say is, she came up to me at the start of this season and she said she wanted to play some center mid, and I said, okay, and I said, well, you're one of our top defensive players, and she's like, I know, I really want to play some center mid, and I said, I respect it and support it, and you being assertive, and she's played there a lot of the year, and I think that her ability, I challenged the girls, and I was trying to teach them the word impact today or over the weekend, and she finds a way to impact every game that she plays, whether it's in practice and training, and she can pretty much play anywhere. Like a year ago, she didn't know how to play the midfield, like so to speak. Like when I put her somewhere, I think I put her at outside man, she's like, I really don't really understand that. And so, she went from a defensive position to a center mid position, and, exactly as Andrew said, like she's a player that never backs down. And I mean, there were girls taller than me today. I mean, this weekend I think the Blues girl had 2 or 3 girls taller than me. And, it's like, again, that's a gift from her to be able to play big. We all know Messi, and Messi's not big, but he's amazing and he's effective. And I think that's the biggest thing for her, is she's found a way to impact the team or impact the game in any setting, whether we're at practice or a game. And I'm super grateful because, she came up today and said, look, if you need me to play defense instead of mid, I'm like happy to do it. And I'm appreciative of that and grateful that what her soccer journey is going to look like, whatever happens next year, that she's going to go find a way to make an impact on the team, and she is super consistent. So, thank you.
All right, let's give it up for Lola. Antonio, are you ready here? Coach, I'm gonna, we have had all of the Pammies.
I did not realize I was going to get all this.
No, this is we're gonna take.
If anyone wants to bring me some more red wine, I'll be grateful.
Yeah. Well, I think Antonio is shorter. Hi.
I wasn't planning to give a speech. I give very many speech on my normal job, but since Andrew put me on the spot, first of all, thank you, Coach. It was a great season once again. Also, thank you all for the kind words, letter, gift, meals that you gave us during my tough times. Very much appreciated, except that as you very next time you bring some food, but not when I have my mouth wire shut. And Coach Pam, among the many letter, email, text messages we received between you all, softball, and my employees, your message was definitely the one that touched me the most. And ironically, is why I'm here tonight, because when 9 months ago Vinny gave me this trophy, I was at first offended a little bit, and then I thought, you know what, he's right. And usually as an adult you don't get feedback, except for your wife, and usually you don't listen to your wife. But it's another man gives you a similar feedback, then you listen. So I put this trophy, the most improved, on my desk all year to remind me of my failures and remind myself that I need to be better. And I think I did this pretty good this year, except for today. I had a relapse. And unfortunately, I think Nick's children heard. And so I was told that I need to pass the trophy, so I'm gonna keep a mental image of it in my heart. And while I think the person that should get the trophy next was definitely not as bad as it was at the beginning of the season last year, I think that he or she, or they, them, has improved significantly this year, and I heard that was for the love of her daughter. So, Desiree, the most improved trophy this year.
Desiree! Desiree, you gotta give a speech. Let's go. Girls, can we just give a round of applause for Desiree and her baking? I mean, different level. And you know when Vinny's stealing Presley's baked goods, that you know you've hit the jackpot.
Don't let me get him again. You're done.
Microphone does right.
I don't do microphone. This is a shock, so thank you.
Don't ever change.
I'm never gonna change.
Don't ever stop.
We love you, Desiree!
Last year was our first year playing soccer, right? We played rec for, I think, one season, may say positive. Coming onto the team, we didn't know what to expect, people, families, all different dynamics with the kids, and we had a great team, right? Last year was amazing. We had great parents. It was a great season. So when we changed over, nerves, you don't know, and parents, all we heard was about this dream team constantly, anytime. You guys were awesome. You welcomed us all in, and I don't want to speak for Mark and Scott, but you guys really did. You opened your arms to us and the girls, seeing the girls gel. I'm an emotional person, Antonio, I share that blood. Vinny, it's the Italian in me. I can't help it, but I can speak for everybody. I say watching my daughter play is honestly the highlight of my weekend. I love watching her play. I love watching every one of your daughters play. And as much as I scream for my daughter, I hope you never mind, I scream for your kids too. So.
All right, thanks. That's the end of programming. Let's get back to hanging out.